Senator Kaine.
We'll now move to 5-minute rounds of questions, and I'm the only Democrat here, so I will start. I feel lonely in this body. I feel like there's 100 people here, and most people in the Senate only have broad brushes in their paint kit. So inflation is Biden's fault.
Well, I'll take you to lunch. You're lonely. I like you. You're a nice fellow.
Inflation is Biden's fault, or inflation is because of corporate greed? You know, I think most Americans understand that, and you acknowledge this, Dr. Owens, in your written testimony. There's a lot of different causes for this. Inflation is Biden's fault when nations all around the world are experiencing it. Inflation is because of American corporate greed when nations all around the world are experiencing it. I do think we made a big mistake. I want to focus on some labor market issues. I think we made a significant mistake in the tax bill in 2017. I voted against it, and in particular, here was a mistake, the corporate tax rate. Did we need to reduce it to make the corporate tax rate competitive? I think we did. And my Virginia companies were coming to me and saying, reduce the rate to 26 or 27%. Were they greedy to ask for that? I don't know whether they were or not. I think they were trying to be competitive. But Congress was stupid to take it to 21.5. My companies were asking for 26 or 27, and Congress, in my view, stupidly took it to 21.5. I made an amendment on the floor during our when we were given the 1,000-page bill to read immediately, and we got a 1-minute opportunity to amend. I said, take it back up to 27, and you'll dramatically reduce the deficit or give us the opportunity to do some other things. And Senator Toomey and all the Republicans opposed me. Senator Toomey said he opposed me because it would be raising taxes on corporations. I felt like I was in Alice in Wonderland. No, it would have been reducing taxes dramatically to what they were asking us to do, but sadly we went further. I think one of the reasons for inflation, and there are many reasons, but one of the reasons for inflation right now is tight labor market. We still have a lot of people out of the labor market. It would be good if we could get people back in the labor market. I believe we could get a lot of people back in the labor market if childcare was more affordable. If we took the corporate tax rate back to what they were asking for, the 26 or 7, I think it would dramatically fund more affordable childcare and universal pre-K. Let me just ask that question. Would more affordable childcare and universal pre-K, in your views, get more people back in the labor market?
Yeah, absolutely. According to the Washington Post today, the second most common reason people cite for being out of the labor force, aside from early retirement, is the lack of childcare options. And so providing robust childcare, bringing the United States closer to peer countries where folks, can assume that they'll have childcare, it'll be ready for them when they need it to go to work, will absolutely pull people off the sidelines and help secure a robust economic growth.
Here's a question that I'd like all three of you to answer. Would Congress working together in a bipartisan way to do immigration reform, would that also open up the labor market and maybe put some downward pressure on prices? And I'd like each of the witnesses to answer that question.
Sure. We're absolutely overdue for immigration reform, and it would be a great way to increase our labor force participation.
I agree. We need to reform the immigration system. In particular, we need to look at more H-1B visas and facilitating high-educated foreign workers to come into the country legally to perform services and relax some of the labor constraints we have.
Professor Reich.
And Senator, I do agree as well. The United States labor force is aging. I'm a good example of that. And the baby boomers are moving on. The millennials are a big generation, but the United States is going to need more workers. Immigration is and has always been a source of extraordinarily important labor market growth in America. And there is absolutely no doubt that we need to have immigration reform and we need to allow in more immigrants.
Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Senator Graham.